And a good afternoon to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing good. It's good to see everybody. Appreciate everyone coming out, the ones that's going to come out. Right now, we have Rachel in the house. Thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it. And we'll give everybody a few minutes show up. I didn't even create this live till literally right before 5:30. But right. Good to see you, Steve. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. Uh, I appreciate everybody that comes out to these videos, whether it's now or later or whatever. Appreciate all that, all the comments and everything. We did make it through those terrible storms that tore through Mississippi and Alabama yesterday. I saw there was a lot of places torn up, but we made it just fine. Uh, had an exciting delivery today. Probably December, our dryer went out, and I just went outside and put up a clothesline, and we've been washing and hanging on the lines since then. But we finally got a new dryer delivered today, so I got that put in. That's going to help a whole lot, get clothes done a lot faster. But got that in. Appreciative for the little things, I'm telling you. Now I've got an issue with the washing machine. The washing machine's fine, but I'm going to have to do some pipe work or something because that's up to you. If you want to send those to me, I'd be glad to have them. Be honored to share them. That's your preference. And welcome in, Jackie. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you. I appreciate it. But for some reason, when my washing machine, it drains the water out, it's coming back up through the pipes. So we've got a blockage somewhere, so I'm gonna have to dig it up and oh, Jimmy will like that. He likes some good stories too. But I'll have to dig it up, replace it, whatever. We'll just get it going again. That way we can have our washer machine and dryer both going now. And it is what it is. Finally got Autumn in for her testing today. Finally, glad to get that over with. Hopefully everything comes back good with that. Let's see. Like I said, we made it through the storms good, but we finally got the tomatoes in the ground at the garden. I bet those enjoyed all that rain that we've got over the last 2-3 days. Kind of chilly out today. Not too bad, but just a little. Let's see. The video that we got coming up Saturday. My dad still has my grandmother's Ringer washing machine, and he also has her one of the very first washing machines that had that little spin out thing on the side of it. He has that too in his shop. But the video that we're working on deals with a disaster that takes place in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1889. So it's to do with that flood and some of the heroes that come from that. And that'll be out for this coming Wednesday. Of course, this past Wednesday, we did the video on Martha. What was her name? I don't remember. It's some Martha, and I forget what her last name, but it's a whole. But it's a story that takes place back in the 1800s and in Glasgow County, Kentucky. in the Whitechapel community. She tragically lost her life crossing a river in a flood. She passed away, and it's the whole story is about how she passed and some of the strange things that goes on after she's passed. But you'll have to go check that out if you hadn't. It's a pretty interesting story. But we got that one done, and the story that I had gotten was sent in from David Blair. The person that had told him this had experienced something, whether it was maybe they were around at that time or they had seen some of the strange things that goes on afterwards, but they had some firsthand knowledge. So that's how that story come about, and we got to share it with you guys. So like I said, if you hadn't checked it out, you'll want to watch that. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty sad story, of course, too. I mean, when a child loses their life, it's not good anyway. Like, it's something always sad comes of that. But it was a pretty daggum good video. Talks about almost 2,200 people that died, and there were 777 that were unidentified, and they're buried in a cemetery, and they have a monument in their memory. It's a whole video you'll have to go and see and check out. Pretty good stuff. But for tonight, we're reading another installment from the Creepy Campfires books. Pretty creepy. It's a pretty long one. That's why we're only going to do one. If it's not as long as I think, I've got one more short one pulled up to read too. But this one's about a sleepover and a strange entity that appeared before these girls. You'll have to join us and listen in. And those that come in later, I appreciate it. I know some can't come in last minute. Some have church. Whatever the case is, we do appreciate, no matter when you watch, we appreciate the comments and likes and shares and all that good stuff. Always appreciate that. And I noticed that today that we are up to 2,052 subscribers. So we appreciate that too. Hadn't been that long since we got to 2,000, and we're up 52 more. So really appreciate that, and appreciate everybody for their support. Now I will get me off of this old screen, and we'll sit back and get into this story. This one's entitled Our Last Sleepover. Let's see. Welcome in, Tammy. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you. It says, in this chilling tale of childhood friendship and supernatural horror, a girl recounts her lifelong bond with her friend, a girl haunted by an entity, and she calls it Tally. Says, I used to have a friend, and we won't use her name. We were close ever since we met in kindergarten, and this relationship lasted all the way into our teen years when we were in high school. My friend was always an odd kid, to put it lightly. I loved her for it, of course, but it was difficult for her to fit in with others. For as long as I knew her, she had strong anxiety that would cause her to panic over the smallest social nuisances. Because of this, she didn't enjoy conversing with people very often, and this led to her searching for different kinds of friends, namely imaginary ones. The oldest memory I have of her imaginary friend, who she called Tolly, goes back to first grade. We were playing together, coloring with vibrant crayons that left waxy smears on our fingertips. When she continuously looked behind her out the window, "What you looking at?" I asked. "Tolly," she said, her face lighting up with a smile. "He's my friend." After saying this, she turned back around and waved at someone out the window, apparently beyond my view because I remember looking and seeing nothing but an empty playground bathed in sunlight. Most kids would abandon their imaginary friends as they get older, or at least they'd recycle them into a new character much more suited to their interest. My friend stayed consistent. Although early grade school, she talked about Tolly at recess. She'd go to the fence of the schoolyard, the metal links cool against her small hands, and have conversations with Tolly, for which she had gotten bullied. She'd always tell me stories about him, like how when they walk home after school, he'd pull her up onto his shoulders so they could pick a pear from a tree. She even tried to show me Tolly, pointed him out to me, but I never could see what she saw. It must have been fifth grade when we first had confrontations about it. As we ate our lunch, the cafeteria buzzing with chatter and the clinks of utensils, she kept going back and forth between talking to me and to Tolly, who said she was right next to us. This made me upset, so I told her she wasn't a baby anymore and that she needed to stop talking to her imaginary friend. She rarely talked about Tolly's appearance, but from the pieces I stitched together, he was incredibly tall and thin, who dressed fancy. On one occasion, she said his face didn't look like ours before drawing it on a piece of paper. She drew what she drew looked nothing like a human face, but instead that of a stick man. All that was present were two thin lines for eyes and a large half circle for a smile. Tolly stayed the same, more or less, for the next while. That was until the 10th grade of high school, when we were about to be 16 years old. As we were leaving school one day in early September, the crisp autumn air nipping at our faces, a group of girls came up to us. One stepped forward before she pulled my friend's head by her hair and threw her onto the ground, insulting her about the short-cut looking boyish hair. Then they strutted away, giggling. I remember my friend bleeding from her forehead, a thin trickle of crimson stark against her pale skin. But she insisted she was all right. She was so we just walked home. The next day, the girl who attacked my friend wasn't present in my math class. She wasn't there at our next share class either. Then I saw signs up around the school with a girl's photo telling us she went missing. Eventually, all around the neighborhood, you'd find posters of the girl, and occasionally you'd even run into a pleading family member holding up a photo and asking if you'd seen her. It was months before the police found her. She was deceased, found in a lake that was about 2.5 miles from our school. I never spoke about the girl to my friend, but there's no concrete evidence connecting her bullying my friend to her disappearance. But I still think it's pretty coincidental. That same year, my friend and I had a sleepover. Both her mom and dad were attending a Halloween party, so it was just us for the night. At first, it was fun. We handed out candy to the kids in costumes, the air filled with excited shrieks of trick or treaters or gorged on snacks while we watched iconic horror films. Strangely, a few times someone knocked on the door, but when we checked, no one was there. We finally decided to go to bed around midnight. My friend was sleeping in her bed, and I was on the floor of her room in a sleeping bag. We fell asleep pretty quickly, and everything remained fine until around 3 in the morning when I woke up. I didn't know what woke me, but I sat up in my sleeping bag and stretched. I could see my friend was still asleep, her chest rising and falling rhythmically. But I was about to lie down when I looked toward the window. From the street light outside, I could clearly see a shadow cast on the window blind. To this day, I still remember how it looked. It was a very tall man from the size. He was right outside. I screamed and my friend woke up instantly, glaring at me and then toward the window. The silhouette stayed perfectly still. She pulled up the blinds. To my surprise, I couldn't see anyone, but she did. She opened her window before yelling something along the lines of, "Go away, I told you, you're too close." That morning, I tried asking her about it. All she said was, "Oh, yeah, that's Tolly. He's creepy sometimes." This event became a vivid memory in my mind, but my friend and I remained the best of friends. I tried not to judge her for her stories about Tolly, but mentally noted they weren't real, deciding that I must have seen the shadow of a tree cast onto her window. I believed this for another few years until the summer after graduating from high school. We hung out more than we ever had before in that year. It was the it was one day in late August when my friend said she we should go camping. Her property bordered a forest, so we thought we'd just set up a tent on the edge of her yard in the woods. That way, we'd get the scenery of camping without having to pack up and go anywhere. And that's what we did. As we were setting up the tent, the canvas rustling in the gentle breeze, her dad told us he was leaving the back door unlocked so we could just come in if we needed something. It started to get dark around 9 o'clock, so we went inside the tent. We snacked on marshmallows and other candies, the sweet stickiness clinging to our fingers. And before we knew it, we were all ready to fall asleep. As we were talking about what we should do when we got up, we heard something outside the tent. It sounded like twigs snapping. One would break every couple of seconds, and we could tell it was moving closer. We shot out of our tent. I shined my flashlight around, but we didn't see anything. We just figured it was a coyote that was most likely ignored that would most likely ignore us. We got back in and prepared to sleep. 10 minutes later, we heard the sound again, even closer and slower. Sold on the theory that it was an animal, I decided to get up out of the tent again. This time, I called out to the woods, trying to scare whatever this was. I shined my flashlight around the trees again, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move. Only for a fraction of a second, but to my right, deep in the trees, I thought I saw something black darting away. It was strange. I couldn't imagine what animal it was. I wasn't scared though, because my light seemed to have warned it off, whatever it was. Finally, we went to sleep with no more disturbances. That was until I woke up in the middle of the night with a feeling of unease. Instantly, it reminded me of the Halloween sleepover. I checked my watch, and to my horror, it was just after 3 at night in the morning. It was then I heard another hard snap of a branch outside. This time, it was very loud, right outside our tent. I slightly tugged my friend's hand, waking her up. I put my finger on her lips to remain quiet. We just listened. A few seconds later, we heard another snap. We were both petrified. Without much thought, I shouted, "Run!" We both clambered out of the tent and took off toward the back door. It was about a 30-second run. The entire time, I could hear something just on our heels, breathing heavily, almost wheezing. We made it to the door, and my friend jostled the handle. "It's locked," she yelled. She kept turning the handle and pounded the door. We both started crying. I turned around to my horror. I saw Tolly, the one and only. It stood barely visible about 15 yards from the porch light. It was exactly like Emma had described, tall, at least 8 feet, with disproportionately long limbs. Its arms hung down almost to its knees. The inhumanity of the thing was terrifying. It tore an undersized it wore an undersized black suit with a red tie. Its skin was pale and leathery, almost wet, and its face was not the face of a stick man. Instead, two thin eyes. There were deep black holes where pupils should have been, and its mouth similar, only bigger. Pointed daggers of teeth reflected the porch light. I screamed, and my friend kept pounding the door, tears streaming down her face. At that point, I wasn't sure what she was looking at, if she was looking at him too. Suddenly, the door swung open, and my friend fell inside. We were greeted by her father's angry face. He asked us who the heck locked the door and why we were bawling our eyes out. My friend only hugged him and sat down and tried to slow my racing heart. After that, my friend and I grew distant. We'd invite each other to plans and hang out, but we were always distracted. I could never bring her to talk about Tolly, and the harder I pushed, for more emotional she would get. Eventually, we stopped speaking entirely. Fast forward a few years later, I was studying abroad when I got a call from an unknown number with the area code of the city I grew up in. I answered. An older woman spoke. Hello, is this? And she told the name. Well, that's me. Who is this? I don't know if you remember me, but it's your friend's mom. And I said, oh, hi, what can I do for you? Well, I know you two haven't spoken in a while, but I'm wondering if you've heard from her, or maybe she's staying with you. We haven't seen her in a few days. She will not answer her phone. My heart sank and my mind went through flashbacks of Tolly in the woods. I tried my best to muster a reply, but oh, I'm sorry. No, I haven't heard from her. I'm actually in town at the moment. I'm not in town at the moment, but if I hear anything, I'll sure let you know. She sighed, sounded worried and exhausted. Okay, well, thank you much, my dear. I really hope my friend returns home soon. Maybe she's just a friend, just with a friend or a partner. People need a break from their parents sometimes, right? But I can't help being paranoid. What if her disappearance is related to Tolly? It never occurred to me that that was our last sleepover ever. And now it's very possible I'll never speak to her again. I can't shake the feeling that somewhere in the shadows it is watching and waiting. Make sure to stay in touch with your friends, especially the imaginary ones. Wow. Let's see. Camera back. There we go. My goodness. Basically, it sounds like her friend was best friends with what we've all come to know as Slenderman. And it's never good. I don't know what I think about that one. I've never seen a Slenderman, but I sure don't want to. I've never had lived anywhere there was a street light darker than inside of your pocket at night here. Right. Now that is what I like. But unfortunately, I can't control what people do next door, and they build a storage building and now they have a floodlight. So our yard is lit up with cameras, surveillance all the time. So I love the dark. My dad's house is like that. He does have one light out at the road, but 95% of his property is just dark. But I just don't know how would you handle that? You know, just spending the night with a friend, camping along the edge of the woods, hearing her talk for years about this friend that she calls Tolly, to when you actually see him, it's literally Slenderman, a tall, slender, white being with long arms, wearing a black suit and a red tie, and it's just hollow eyes, just evil. I've heard many stories similar to this one, but I've never ever actually seen one. Right, I wish that I had no neighbors, but 100 yards in every direction I got neighbors, and right now their stupid dogs are running everywhere. But other than that, that's one thing I like about Dad's house. He's got neighbors, but they're all family, and they all just kind of stay to themselves. So don't have to worry about anybody there. But um, this was a very, very interesting story indeed. Like I said, I've never actually had dealings with Slenderman, and I've seen videos that people's posted. They caught on the CCTV cameras or whatever, actually seeing Slenderman. I don't know what I'd do if I actually saw one. So, creepy, indeed. Just like Tammy said, this was a extremely creepy story. I should have changed the name of this to Slenderman Encounter, but I didn't realize that that's who it was talking about until in the story where she started talking about a description. That's exactly what she was describing. So just creepy, creepy, creepy all the way around. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Not a big crowd tonight, but hopefully everyone will watch back and catch up with us. Really enjoyed this creepy story, and I always enjoy spending time with you guys. And don't forget, if you have a story that you'd like to send, we got the email here. Um, if you have questions or anything of that nature, stories, uh, I know people are trying to find out exactly what's going on with Jerry King TV. We don't know. Jimmy, myself, and the alligator horse, we don't know. We don't have any contact of any kind, even through uh, literal personal address. We don't have any contact, and all we can say is just give them time. Uh, whether they're just upset that YouTube cracked down and uh, they just walked away for a little bit, or if whatever this scandal thing is that everybody's talking about is true. I don't know. I've never actually seen any proof of any of that, so I don't know. All I can say is just pray for them and give them time on that. And what else do we have? If you would like to maybe mail in a story, we have the P.O. box for you guys. That is still active. We paid for that for the whole year. It's $120 something for an entire year. But We have that available for whatever you would like to handwrite a story or whatever, cards, anything is fine. We ask no money or anything like that. You don't have to, we don't want any money from anybody. If you would like to help us out in any way, Autumn's channel, you can click the join button and we will be taking the money from that, and that's going to be our cemetery fund, because we are no longer taking any donations from anybody, because we see how so many kind of misuse that. We're not taking money from anybody. So the way we're doing it is the join button. If you use that, that will be going to that's not even much. It's like 99 cents for the month, but that's going to help the channel and stuff. We wouldn't want any kind of money from anyone, that's for sure. But stories, whatever you have you'd like to send, right. Yeah, his PO box is no longer available either because they couldn't afford to keep it open. And yes, I don't think there was a scandal either. One person got on saying something about it, and it was their only source of income because they were both. He's not able. She had the surgery or whatever's going on. But just all I can say to everybody is just keep them in your prayers and just patience. Time will tell with whatever's going on. And we'd just like to thank you so much for supporting us that are left here. Uh, you know, Spooky Appalachia is continuing the storytelling. Donnie Laws is continuing the storytelling. JD over at the Appalachian Storyteller, he's trucking forward. And there's, of course, I'm continuing it. And we just appreciate everybody's support across the board as far as that goes, because you guys make it worthwhile. Even just to tell y'all, I'm even being hammered by YouTube. Nearly every one of my videos are sending me a thing saying that I can never yes, building it up can be very defeating when you lose it. But even my videos, when I put these together and put them out to you guys, they were 100% okay. But nearly every one of them now, even a year or two later, are coming back that they can never be monetized because of this specific sound or that. But it was fine 2 years ago. So I don't know. I'm not fighting them or asking questions. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm already doing, and I will probably never monetize this channel. Just to be real honest with you, that's not what we're in this for anyway. The money's not why we're doing this. We're doing this to keep our mountain history alive and our story, and just sharing with the world. And a lot of folks have been sending in stories, and I appreciate that. And welcome in. It's good to see. Thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, you're having an amazing night. Like I said, we're so grateful to everybody. Just simply watching the videos and clicking that thumbs up and sharing them out and helping us grow. That's all we ask. Yes, I saw that. Seems like they're changing things. I did see that his channel was demonetized or whatever. They're just, I don't know. I think YouTube's been flooded with so many channels now that they're trying to maybe weed some out. And I mean, unfortunately, some of these big channels are, they're just getting gone, and it's so crazy. Um, it's kind of hard to stick to the rules when they're changing them all the time. That's the only complaint that I have. But like I said, I just keep doing what I'm doing, and uh, I'm trying not to do anything that's against any rules at all. Uh, I'm just trying to do what I can. And like I said, I'm grateful to every one of you guys. Y'all are awesome. Uh, we appreciate you guys coming out and joining in the live and watching the videos and the stories and the comments, amazing comments that we get. It makes it so worth it. Sometimes it gets depressing when you put in hours of video and you only get 45 views. But it's the comments that people share. That's what makes it worthwhile. That thanking us for what we're doing and how much it means to them that we can share a story that they had sent in. That's what makes it worth it to me. I guess that's my payoff. But I guess with that, until I guess next Wednesday when we put out a video, we'll see y'all later. So hopefully you guys have a good night, great afternoon, great weekend. Starting to get supper time. Mine's been cooked for an hour. I'm ready to go eat it. So that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next week. Have a good one, everybody.